3:33 a.m. That's what the clock read when I downloaded the ROM hack Mario World onto my old SNES. I love ROM hacks, and this was just something I found when browsing on my PC. It didn't have a description, only these 3 words: licensed by Nintendo. I thought, hey, I love ROM hacks. Why not revisit it? I downloaded it onto my old SNES and turned it on. The title screen popped up and it read Mario World. I pressed play and it brought me straight to the beginning of the game. Now, I've played Super Mario World thousands of times, and there's always an opening cutscene. Here, there was no cutscene, just black. Then suddenly the game started. Of course, I started on Yoshi's Island, and that is how all Super Mario World hacks begin. Except the world name was The Island instead of Yoshi's Island. The island? It's called Yoshi's Island, stupid game, is what I screamed in my head. But hey, I'm not the controller of the people's creativity. They can do what they want. Maybe this might turn out to be a great hack, I thought to myself. I went to the course Island 2 and pressed play. As soon as the game started, I noticed something in the music. Now, I'm no musician, but I can tell you if a song is in minor. And not only was this song in minor, but it also had this unsettling echo to it. Creepy. Very creepy. The level progressed normally until I found the question mark block that Yoshi's egg is in. I love Yoshi. When ROM hackers include him in their courses, I can't help but smile. I hit the block, and Yoshi's egg came out. It shattered open, blood seeping out of the cracked egg. But instead of Yoshi coming out, nothing happened. A text box appeared above it reading, "Yoshi is gone." Okay, this is creepy. What did they mean? This troubled me, and I continued throughout the level. I hit a point of advice block, and it read this: "Point of advice, stay away from my family." What does it mean? Whose family? What did I do? I continued through the level and hit the ending gate, therefore completing the level. Instead of Mario doing a peace sign like he normally does, though, he looked toward the floor with a defeated face. And who could blame him? Yoshi was gone, and that's what matters to me. Well, that's what mattered to me back then. The game progressed normally until I got to Iggy's castle. Inside, I hit a question mark block and got the fire flower. A text box appeared reading, "So you're committing arson now?" I'd never really thought of it that way. Mario shoots fire. He uses it as a weapon. He hits enemies with it and they die. But do they die? Or do they die? There's a difference. With troubled thoughts in my head, I entered through the boss doors and readied myself to fight Iggy. When I approached, he didn't even move. Another text box appeared, and this time it read, "I just want to end it all. Signed, Iggy." And that, Iggy jumped into the lava. You can probably tell I was very confused and scared, but Iggy killing himself? I'm starting to wonder if this was really licensed by Nintendo. But with that, I cleared the island. The bridge opened and I walked into what is usually donut plains. Instead, there was this big ocean, like the map just ended. I was not creeped out, but mildly raging. How was I supposed to complete this? Did the makers of the game troll me? I've played many troll ROM hacks, but this has never happened to me. I was plotting a way to complete it when I saw the game's second boss sticking out of the water, and Morton was face down floating in the water. That moment was when I finally understood. Donut plains had flooded. My eyes were twitching. My brain was hurting. I was breathing heavily. This doesn't make sense, I cried out in anger. What had this cursed game done to my brain? At that moment, the screen started to glitch out. The cartridge quickly popped out of the SNES, but it reinserted itself automatically. I felt a cold shiver run up my spine. The game booted up again, and this time, I was at the door of Bowser's Castle, in the Valley of Bowser. Except this time, it wasn't called Valley of Bowser. This time, it was called Hell. This was freaking me out. I swore myself to never play another Mario ROM hack if I could just get through this nightmare. I gathered all my courage and entered the level. Instead of the normal entrance to Bowser's Castle, I was on the roof. I walked for a few seconds, and I saw another point of advice block. I hit it. Point of advice! You've done enough already. But what did I do? All I did was get the hack. All I did was download it. All I did was hit the start button. Was that so bad? I hit the point of advice block again. Point of advice. You're never satisfied, are you? I thought I heard the back door open. I checked, and the door was closed and locked, as I had left it. I walked back to my room, but the text box read a different message. Point of advice. I gave you a fun game. I gave you multiple worlds to explore, but you just get a ROM hack to add on to my gifts. Haven't I given you what you wanted? I heard footsteps. I looked around with a flashlight in hand. There was nothing. I walked back to my room. The text box read yet another message. Point of advice. Good luck, kid. It was that moment when the text box closed that Bowser swooped down on my screen. I have fought him many times before in the game, so this was easy. In between attacks, he throws a Mecha Koopa down, which you need to throw back at his clown car 3 times, and boom, the game is a done deal. I was ready for anything. Nothing could break my flow, except Bowser wasn't moving normally. He was wiggling around the screen. I noticed the eyes of his clown car, and they were bleeding. The car had a sad look on its face, like it had seen something it shouldn't have seen. Bowser moved around so fast that the screen started to glitch out. So fast that the screen, in fact, turned off. I shook the TV, and the screen came back, except the face of a depressed, realistic Mario in an abandoned parking garage came on screen. It was that moment when I started to uncontrollably cry. I couldn't handle the creepiness anymore. I fell to the floor, sobbing. I looked back at the screen. The screen had brought me to tears, the screen that murdered me mentally. A text box appeared above Mario's head, and it read, "Look behind you." I turned around. I haven't returned home since that night. I haven't played a Mario game since that night. And I don't think I ever will again.